You were married when you started talking to Leah?
Correct. So we were looking for like a throuple type relationship, whatever.
So your husband knew that you were talking to Leah?
Correct, yes. And he used to talk to Leah.
Was he the one who texted us that said, leave my wife out of this?
That would be my husband. I think he's just worried about her hurting me all over again. He doesn't want me to go into that like depression part again because of all this.
So then why not just tell us yesterday when we talked to you?
I just wasn't ready to come out with it just yet. It would have been nice to her longer, like to get her all in love and, you know, but I didn't think she was going to call you guys. Like, oh.
Yeah, that clip right there is from Catfish, the TV show airing Wednesdays, 8 p.m. on MTV. I have a special relationship with this show, Heather B. I remember when it was first brought on board to MTV, and I was thinking, wow, what an awesome idea. But I had saw the documentary first. And so when they said they were going to make it into a TV series, I was like, wow, this is great. My homie Dave Soronic was involved at that time, one of the people on the creative side to help Neve and Max and these guys in this excellent idea they had. I want to welcome Neve back to the show, the one and only Nev Schulman. Give him a big round of applause. And then also,
what's up?
His partner Kamie Crawford is on here too. What up, Kamie?
Hey, Kamie, with her fine self.
I need to hear Kamie. I can't hear Kamie. Speak up, Kamie. Are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, okay, I can hear you now. How you been?
Okay,
How you doing?
Let's go. I'm good.
Okay.
How are you guys?
Doing well. Doing really well. Neve, today we got word that this show and I was inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame, man. So we celebrating today, Neve. Yeah, man. Unless I'm being catfished. Is that possible? That's why I wanted to have you on today.
Yeah, you know what? These days, anything's possible.
Everything's possible. Thanks, Neve.
Good and bad. No, I hope not. I hope it's real.
Nah, it's real. It's very real. How you been? I know that the show was suspended for a while, Neve. What can you tell us about that why it got postponed?
You mean just like filming because of COVID?
No, well, I know there was the COVID. Yeah, what other? Yeah, there was other issues that was going on too. That you were. I wanted to just get that out the way that were lifted.
Yeah,
I know
you mean
that was
a couple of years ago. Yeah, I mean there was a young lady who came on the show and then I guess a year or so or 2 years later posted some video about how she had an unpleasant experience with while filming and made this video where she basically said, I want to tell everybody what happened, but I'm only going to share what happened if I get a certain number of likes or something on this video. And so people were curious and she got a lot of attention for it. So she came up with this, whole story about how she, I guess, felt like she'd been mistreated to some extent. And I think she had a sexual interaction with one of our production assistants that she remembers sort of ending poorly, and she had a whole version of a story, and understandably MTV was concerned and wanted to look into it and make sure that everything on the show that happens is done professionally. And so they looked into it and found that there was nothing that had been done wrong, and so we kept on filming.
You kept on filming, and so it was that. Okay, so I want to clear that up, and then COVID hit. COVID eventually started happening, right? And then you had to adjust to that as well. How did that adjustment? I mean, was that hard for you to like? How can you do this show during quarantine? How does it work?
I mean, Kamie can obviously give you a different perspective. I've been on the road now for 8 years, so traveling, I think it averages out to about 100 to 150 days a year. So for me, in a weird way, quarantining and staying in one place for 5 months was a very nice break. And even though obviously the conditions under which we've all been quarantining have been less than ideal, it was nice just to not get on a flight, not have to go to the airport, not have to sit in traffic and deal with bags and hotels and rental cars and all that. And we didn't know what was going to happen with the show. We just assumed we would wait until things kind of settled down. But turns out some really smart, intuitive, and creative people on the Catfish production side said, hey, wait a second, I think we can figure out how to make this show remotely if everyone has a computer and we figure out how to record the Zoom calls like at a high resolution and figure out the audio I mean, they kind of invented a whole new way to make a show, and we did one and it worked. And so we started filming this season that's out now back in like at the end of April. I mean, we've really been kind of nonstop.
Wow. Okay. And you like that, Tracy? Tracy's been catfished before, so that's why she's just interested in it.
Oh man!
Thank God I haven't.
I think at this point, I think everyone's been catfished.
I've been emotionally catfished. I feel that, but not so much physically.
Right.
But I feel like emotionally catfished doesn't really get as much respect as its cousins.
Yeah.
Kamie, is there such thing as emotionally catfish, Kamie?
I think so. I mean, there's plenty of situations that I've been in where, you think you know somebody, but you really, really don't. And it doesn't even have to just be romantic relationships. Like, I was in a situation with a friend of mine that I thought that I knew. Like, I lived with this person. I've known them for, over a decade. I thought I knew this person. Come to find out, I knew absolutely nothing about them. Everything that they had ever told me about themselves was a lie. And this was just a friend. So when it comes to actual relationships, I honestly don't know which one is worse, the friendship breakups or like the real live relationship breakups, because they both suck, honestly.
They both suck. Heather, you never been catfished, huh?
I don't know. I usually I don't really give people that long of a time. Like, I told you guys, I don't have relationships with any exes, and just being married for so long, I'm not like in the game. But what I wanted to ask you guys, with all the technology and everything now and how it's so easy to find people, and you got all of these different social media platforms, like, how is it that people are still getting catfish? Like, I don't understand how it is still happening.
That's the number one question, isn't it? That's what everybody wants to know. Why is this show still around? How are people still getting catfished? I think it's because, at the end of the day, everyone is looking for human interaction and love. And, I think now we're living in the same, pandemic experience where we all just want to get together. Like, we all just want to be able to, connect in a different kind of way. And I think it makes the show even more relatable right now, because it's the same thing that the people who come on our show are looking for. They're looking for connection. And sometimes it doesn't really matter what that looks like. And losing that because you find out the truth can sometimes be worse than, having it and not knowing.
Right.
We played a clip at the beginning of the show, and that clip was a woman. The woman was actually catfishing someone, but doing so as a revenge for getting catfished by the person she was targeting. Do y'all? How deep do you get into people's motives when they want to work with you? Do you ever draw the line, Neve, where you get somebody that wants to be a part of the show, but you find out they got ulterior motives?
Well, we don't know who we're sort of helping or exposing on the show until we're filming it and it's happening.
Oh wow!
But we have run into situations where we've in one case we had. Just last season, we had a girl who had been on the show previously who was then on the show again. And we had to decide, like, this is a girl who we know is a catfish. She loves doing it. She's admitted she's addicted and doesn't want to stop. Do we want to now give her another opportunity to, sort of get an additional 15 minutes of fame or whatever it is? And is that good for her? And so that kind of stuff does come up, whether it's with people who have either been on the show in the past or people that we can just tell in the moment are putting on a show because they feel like it'll either make them more likable or dislikable, or if they're just trying to hurt someone. So, yeah, we're constantly kind of walking a very fine line as to how much room we want to give people on the show to really either show themselves or kind of make a show of themselves.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because I know you got a team now. This is a very successful show. It's always fun to watch. It's one of those things, once you start, you can't pull away from it. And I know you have a lot of people who are doing research and I'm sure some type of background checks. What are your thoughts about dating apps? Do you think dating apps should have background checks to keep users safe now that you all up in this world?
I mean,
I think that's
one. Yeah, go ahead, Kamie.
I think that's kind of tricky because I feel like, if something were to come up in your background check that isn't the most flattering for someone who's like already out here maybe looking for like the perfect person or the perfect date, I just feel like, there are some things that may come up that you shouldn't still have to hold on to and like risk not meeting somebody to like let them get to know the real you beforehand. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm here for like photo verification, but when it comes to like background checking, I just feel like that can just get.
I don't know. I think it's a great idea. My wife and I have an app we use for babysitters sometimes, and you can choose to either look only at babysitters who have a background check or babysitters that don't. And if you want to roll the dice and maybe save a little bit of money, you go with the unverified ones. So apps could have both. They could have like if you're squeaky clean and you want to give people that extra confidence that you're legit, I think it's a great idea.
Huh.
It's a great idea.
Is there something?
Some people want to walk on the wild side.
That's true. I think for the both of you, I'm wondering what would be, a spot in someone's background check that you could look over. Or is it that it's got to be flawless and that's the only way we're doing work? Like, is there something that you would be willing to be like, all right, I'll let you pass. The past is the past.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I think if people don't have some sort of a history, then that's almost weird too. I've been arrested a few times for stupid stuff. Like, I'm cool with like you said, if it's the past and it's fine. For me, the main thing is I just want to make sure your name, your identity, your picture, and sort of where you live is legit. I just want to know that you are the person I'm talking to, and the more colorful your past is, the better, in my opinion.
Okay, we don't want Joe Goldbergs in here from you.
No,
I'm curious.
No,
I'm curious. I'm curious too. Like Tracy talked about being emotionally catfished, and that happens a lot. And I watched the show over the years, and I see a lot of folks become really disappointed when they find out that someone isn't who they say they was. And that part right there is hard not to watch, but it's also kind of, you feel bad for some of those people. Do you guys, have you offered any type of counseling or therapy if some of the people on the show, you know what I mean, like needed the rejection? That could be a crazy,
for sure,
mind
wound.
Mind wound. I'm trying not to curse, Neve. So do y'all offer that?
We do. Yeah. I mean, everyone who comes on the show, beforehand, if they want, and certainly during and after, they have someone that they're connected with, I think locally, and then as well, sort of just by phone that they can talk to, who checks in on them and is a resource for them if they need that. Because, it is, like you said, Sway, these people have been living their life relatively secluded, kind of on their own. All of a sudden we come in, we take them on this 3-day crazy whirlwind adventure. We meet this person. Oftentimes they end up, heartbroken or embarrassed. And then we leave and they kind of have to go back to their life. And now they don't have that one sort of thing that they were holding on to that was giving them hope and making them happy, because the relationship in many cases is over. And then a few months later, the show comes out, and that's a whole nother sort of emotional roller coaster that they've never been on, dealing with people sort of seeing them on TV and messaging them. And so it's a lot for sure. So we make resources available to them as much as they need, which is, I think, a big help.
Yeah. Nev Schulman is here. Kamie Crawford is here. And we're talking about Catfish, the TV show. Neve, man, we both get checks from Viacom, so I feel like we're kindred spirits here. We both been getting checks for a long time. You know what I mean? What's the craziest moment you witnessed doing Catfish? the craziest reaction? Is it something that didn't make it to air because it was so crazy?
Huh. I mean, generally the crazier or more absurd the moment is, the more likely it is to be on the show.
Okay.
We have had a lot of we have had moments that for me were really meaningful, where people told us, things that they had never talked about before, or opened up about things that from their past that were really shocking, and sometimes that stuff doesn't make the show because, in a way, it's not directly related to the story, but more so, it's oftentimes either too much to get into and we just don't have time for it, or legally we can't use it because they're talking about someone else and something that may have happened that we can't put on the show because we have no way of proving that it happened, and you can't talk about someone else without knowing for sure if it happened or not. So there's been a lot of big sort of emotional moments that we had to take out or not include because for a number of reasons. But no, I mean, the show really, we never know what's going to happen. It's always a surprise, and it's what you see on, in the episode is a highlight reel of what went down, and we try to include everything we can.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough. He didn't give me no detail, but I'll take that roundabout answer any day, man. He still responded, guys. So give it up.
I mean, what do you want me to tell you? I mean, I think the time I threw that kid's phone in the river, that was a crazy moment for me.
Okay.
Kamie, what about you? I mean, Kamie's a hothead, so she's already had a couple fights on the show.
Kamie, you been fighting?
Listen, let me tell you something, okay? I'm a Jamaican Scorpio, and I don't play many games.
Ooh.
Okay.
For some reason, everyone who comes on the show wants to play games with me, and I don't know why. I'm very nice. I try to listen and hear people out, but last season, if you saw, we had our premiere episode and our finale episode, like Neve was talking about, ending with the same catfish. And, she and I made up by the second episode, but the first episode, which was actually my first episode as the permanent co-host of this show, so my first day on the job, she and I got into something, this new virtual season. I get into something with somebody else. It's just, it's every once in a while.
This girl called Kamie a bird, and I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know.
Nobody.
I didn't even know what that meant at the time. But Kamie did, of course, and so they got into it.
Can't call Kamie a bird? Are you kidding
that
me?
Ain't
How do you
it,
not know
bro.
what that meant?
And a Scorpio?
Can't call
she
him
called
a
me
bird.
a bird. She called me the help. She was like, I'm not talking to you. I'm only talking to Neve. I was like, you know what? You're lucky I love this job.
Exactly.
I thought it was funny. Sway, you with me, Sway. She was funny.
Yeah, tell Kamie go upside that head, then it ain't funny no more. Yeah, Kamie Crawford is here. Nev Schulman is here. Catfish, the TV show, is Wednesdays, 8 p.m. on MTV. We got some folks on the line that probably need to be contestants on your show. We got Frank on the line from Alabama. Frank, good morning. How you doing, Frank?
Hey, Frank.
Hey, good morning. How y'all doing?
Hey.
Doing well. Talk to Neve and Kamie. You want to tell them about your situation? What happened?
Sure. What's up, Neve? What's up, Kamie? How y'all doing?
What's up? We're good, man.
Big fan of the show. Real quick, now, my mind go all the way back to Black Planet. I had met someone on there, and we talked for a while. And excuse me, I had met someone on Black Planet, and we had decided, because we didn't live in the same state, but they had business, and they was going to come to Alabama, to visit. And so we had decided somewhere along the way we would just meet somewhere in public, just a meet and greet. Well, they get in town, and that evening they're like, hey, we having a shindig in our hotel. Why don't you come through? And I was like, I don't know about that. I didn't feel good about that. I said, well, I'll just let you know. But I didn't go over there. But the next morning I reached out to them to catch up with them before they left, because they said it was leaving, they was done with the business, they was going to leave. So I said, okay. I said, well, I come through there just to speak, you know. So I get there, and I could see it was one of those hotels where, it's, you know, you don't go in the building. You know, the door's on the outside.
Yeah.
And so they was talking to me from their phone. They were like, you know, we're up on the second floor. Do you see us? But they just had the door cracked, and it was kind of waving her hand at the door. I said, yes. Yeah. That's your hand at the door? They was like, yeah. It's okay. Let me park. So I go up there, and they left the door cracked. So kind of hesitantly, I walk into the door, but I'm kind of surveying to just see what's going on, you know, what I'm about to walk into. And it's like trash everywhere. Like you can tell like they had, you know, something going on the night before. Mm-hmm. So I comment about the way the place looked. But right off bat, I see there's another person passed out on the other bed, face down, right? Oh. What looks to be a woman. And the person that let me in, they were walking away from me, but they had on a T-shirt and a thong that was halfway down. So I'm like, whoa, what in the world going on? I said, what y'all got going on in here? They was like, she was like, speaking softly and was telling me, I told you to come through. I said, well, no, I don't know if I could have got down what y'all had going on. So they just kept asking me, so what's up with you? And I'm just kind of playing it to the left.
Frank,
I'm like,
Frank,
not much.
Hey, Frank. This is a live radio show, bro. Yeah. Come on, man. All right. Okay. So let's get to the finale, Frank. What happened?
Okay. So real quick, the person that was asleep on the bed turns over and they was like, what y'all doing? So real quick, I noticed that wasn't a woman. There was a guy on the bed. So I looked at this person in the face and realized it wasn't a girl either. It was a dude dressed as a girl. So the whole time it was posing to be a girl on.
Wow, no. I'm pissed.
It was posing to be a girl and turned out to be a man, Frank?
Yeah, they both was cross-dressers. They both were men.
Oh. So Neve, y'all get that a lot on Catfish?
Wow.
Like, yeah, that's
no.
Y'all
so
get that a lot?
It sounds like they didn't need another Frank in the room.
Exactly.
All right, Frank, you're a citizen, man. Thanks, Neve.
They
gave that
like
story.
Franks, that's all. They needed some more buns, is what they needed for those Franks.
Yeah, well, that story needed that joke you just gave it. Thank you. But it happens all the time. I'm with Heather. I just don't understand how people get catfished in 2020 with so much available to you. But fortunately, they still do. So Neve keeps a job. So that works for you, right, Neve?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But congratulations on the success of this original, unique concept. And I remember when it first came on board, and I was like, wow, this thing could go on for a long period of time. So, and even the way you guys have adjusted during the quarantine, I think is very clever. And so continued success, Neve. I'm glad you back at it. And the quarantine didn't stop Catfish from airing. And Kamie, congratulations to all that you do and all that you've done as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, absolutely. Neve, are you gonna have any more celebrity guests to come on? That might.
Are you trying to jockey for a spot?
I might want to do one, man. In case I might need to see if I'm getting catfished or not. You with it?
Yeah, man. Come through.
Okay, cool, man. Big round of applause for Nev Schulman and Kamie Crawford. Catfish, the TV show, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. on MTV. Keep going, Neve. Appreciate you. Kamie, tell Gordon I said what up. All right?
I will. Oh, I will.
That's my brother. He'll tell you when y'all talk. He'll tell you. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's.
He told me.
Oh,
he was like,
yeah,
I said hi. I don't know if we're going to have time for that.
I made the time. It's all good. Tell him I said salute. Y'all have a beautiful day, okay? All right? Big round of applause. Absolutely. We got a quick celebrity wire coming up next.
Yeah, man, from Catfish and to Cat Williams. He's coming at Trump. I'll tell you how.